Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Different Worlds. I'm here today without my co host, Alan Fisher, but I've got a fabulous show for you. Today, I've got someone coming on the show who I've wanted to interview since the first time I met him. And I met him on TikTok, and he was doing such inspiring things that I kept on following. I thought, I've got to get this guy on to talk about consciousness. As you know, this show is all about a shift in consciousness. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to James Mcleod. Hey, James.
Hello. Hello. Thanks
Welcome.
for having me on today.
Oh, really is a pleasure, James. I met James, as I say, on TikTok, and he's so inspiring with what he is doing for many, many people. And the world needs to know about this man because after a bike accident, a motorbike accident, and we'll get back into his life, he became a quadriplegic and he's still inspiring people even from his wheelchair. And I was so inspired myself because as a lot of you know, I was in a wheelchair for 3 years, but that is nothing compared to what happened to James. And so I was so touched by it. So I thought I'd bring him on the show and James can talk a bit about his life. You're from British Columbia, James.
Yes, I was born and raised out in the country, in the lakes and rivers and streams and mountains. And I was blessed to be a part of the natural world for all my younger years. And that was a really good start for me in life before I got into the machine world and the consumerism and all of the material objects. I found peace in nature, and I still do in the trees and out in God's country.
Isn't that amazing, James? So you went from that, and as children too, we're so innocent, and all them natural things are so beautiful until we get caught up in the materialism and the games, and like even today, it's. I think that there's a someone was talking about children know more brands of products than they do of fruits and vegetables and flowers and things like that. So we're being so caught up with that. So, what was it like for you, James, in school, growing up in school in British Columbia?
It was quite nice. There was a smaller city near the country I live in that I bused to school, and I had a nice upbringing there in a smaller community.
And when I know you became fanatical, was it motorbikes, James,
Yes, all bikes, really.
or all bikes?
Yeah, bicycles and mountain bikes, street bikes and dirt bikes.
Well, you know what? I've just got to tell you something funny. As a kid, I was never allowed a bike. Growing up in Liverpool, England, I lived in a town on main roads. I mean, parents never allowed me to have a bike. But about 3 years ago, my partner bought me an electric bike, and I am a big kid now with my
Mhm.
electric bike. I know that's changing the subject a bit, but on the subject of bikes, but you became quite fanatical doing stunts and everything on your bikes, didn't you?
Yeah, and it wasn't just bikes for me. I realized that there was a drug that my brain would produce that I could control, and getting hits of adrenaline became an addiction for me.
Yeah.
And the older I got and the more money I managed to work for, the more I found other ways to get more excited and more adrenaline rush. And from skydiving to base jumping and doing dirt bikes and doing downhill mountain biking, I became addicted to adrenaline. And it was never enough. I was always searching for more. And I bought a very fast street bike, and it was very good at getting me to that adrenaline state.
Yeah. And then that will leads on to your accident, James. How long ago was that?
In 2016, I took it too far doing stunts on my street bike and in unsafe places until I crashed it, and I cleared a meridian and went down a rock embankment and fractured my spine and my hip and shoulder and knee.
So it was a tragic moment in your life, of course, you know. How did it change your life, James?
Well, as the physical changes were a huge part, I woke up without being able to move my arms and legs or fingers or toes. And that was a huge change. But being put in a wheelchair and getting set apart from the busy rat race of life gave me time to sit and really think about what I had experienced and what lessons I had learned that I never really took in and grew from. And it helped me start research and looking into the great different beliefs that we have in this world and some of the power structure and how things got to be this way.
When I seen you, the first video I seen of you was literally you was with, I think, your little boy, and you were literally almost walking. I think you were on your wheelchair still, but you were. It was just so inspiring, and that's what took me in. That you still have not give up on these things in life, right?
No, I have very serious spinal cord injuries, two of them, so I don't feel or control my lower limbs, but I keep working them and getting more and more mobility all the time and more function out of my body.
Yeah. You know, you've heard of Joe Dispenza, James.
Of course, across my all my time searching and watching other great speakers that we have in this world coming out to give us the important messages that are true and real for us to live by.
Yeah. And you literally had the shift in consciousness, and you went from this physical being to understanding that there's more to you than that, James. Would you like to touch on that?
Yeah, I guess the first thing that really helped me start to look in a different direction was in my coma at my NDE. I had a dream or a life in my coma where spiritual beings were together in this magnificent palace, and we were all communicating with telepathy and experiencing love in our physical form, whatever that was there. But we were all playing a game together, and all the spirit beings in this palace were holding a tablet or a device, and in the game we were playing all together was Earth, and all these spiritual beings had a character on Earth that was us, that they were communicating about strategies of how to do the work to bring more love and light to this dark time on Earth. It was a pretty awesome thing to wake up to realize that I was just a player in this amazing game, and I've got a role to play.
Amazing, James. I didn't know that about you. So it was almost like a near-death experience where you went to another dimension. Would you say? Was it a dream, or do you think it really happened?
It's hard for me to say. It seems like quite real memory, except for that there was no physical bodies there. It was an energy experience, and to me it feels as real as more real than any dream that I've had. But it wasn't reality. It wasn't physical reality, but it was an amazing experience to help set me on a path looking for deeper truths in my own life and in my own conscious experience and in reality.
Yeah, all the videos I see of you, you're always happy, laughing, and inspiring.
Yeah, I believe that if we have any choice over our energy or our emotional state or our expression, why not choose happiness, love, truth, the things that help us learn and grow and continue to learn and grow?
So, what would be the biggest difference of your life before the accident and after the accident?
Consumerism. I realized that we have only our conscious attention to give in every single moment. And what we do with it is pretty important and powerful. And if we give our consciousness, our attention to material objects or treats or food or TV shows or whatever it is, we can waste a lot of our amazing, beautiful time consuming other people's content where we have the ability to create. And it's something that I've been spending more time doing, writing and journaling, and I've picked up painting. And without functioning hands, I've found ways to still do art and be a part of the creative process.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And a lot of the suffering comes from our own thoughts, James, eh?
Yes, it can, but a lot of the suffering with the war and consumerism and greed and fear is projected to us by this screen machine that has been trying to control the consciousness of Earth, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell everyone, I tell all my listeners, switch the news off. Switch the news off, because there's so much negativity, you know, because everything, of course, is energy, and fear is the lowest energy. And you mentioned love before. Love is the highest energy. And I think the great ones, as you can see, I've got Jesus, the Christ behind me. I've got Buddha, because I'm not religious at all. I think all these great men came to our planet to teach us the important things that Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within, you know, and we're all divine beings. And to discover that is probably the greatest thing you can ever do in a human body, would you say?
Absolutely. And for the world, the more of us that wake up to our true power and the power of our own vibration affecting this world, the more of us can choose to vibrate at love and share and express and experience it together.
What advice would you give to others, James? I mean, how would change your life? And
Take care of your body. Eat vegetables, drink lots of water, take slow, deep breaths,
thanks for reminding me.
spend time in nature, and make good, healthy decisions for yourself. Because we are amazing, complex, fabulous creatures full of love and compassion and creativity, but we are fragile. And this world is pretty crazy. So using our time and attention to keep ourselves healthy and safe is my important message for anybody that I speak with.
Yeah, it's so true. We take it for granted so much, James, don't we? And it's this human body is magnificent. You know, we don't even think about. We don't try and beat our heart. We don't try and make our blood go around our body. It just it happens. It's doing millions of things without us even thinking about it.
Yeah, we are 50 trillion cells of organization working together to manifest these amazing bodies filled with potential. It's a beautiful thing, and it should be loved, respected, and appreciated.
So, where's your life going from here, James?
Well, right now I spend a lot of time at home doing workout and spending time in arts, and moving forward, putting my life back together. I've recently learned how to drive from a wheelchair and been licensed and been getting out to help get my arts stuff together and moving forward with finding a comfortable place that I can do my work.
That's incredible, James. When did you start? When did you do that?
It was the end of the summer when I became fully licensed and purchased a wheelchair van.
Fabulous. So you can get out and about again, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's it's so inspiring, you know, because so many people can be unhappy with their lives, and they've got a fully able body, and they've got so many things, but they're still not happy and content in their lives. And I think a lot of it is because the materialism. People are always wanting more. It becomes almost an addiction, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, and it's just those short little hits of endorphins or uh, chemicals in the brain that get produced when we feel that little bit of joy from seeing something new or getting something new. And most of it's a waste of time, because the true feeling of happiness that I find is making decisions to choose love for myself, for my family, and my community.
Yeah. Love is the highest vibration again, isn't it? And that's what we are. We are love. But when we get caught up in fear, you can't have love and fear together. And you got to decide what you want to focus on, where you put your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows.
Absolutely. And I think there's some great power at work here that knows that secret and using attention energy to keep this old fear machine running. And it's not doing so good anymore, I don't think. And
Yeah.
it's trying really hard to keep the fear alive, and it's only making itself more and more obvious, which is nice, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I talk a lot about the great awakening, and more people are waking up to this, and what they want. And I remember when The Secret came out, oh my God, about 20 years ago, I think, when people first started to hear about the law of attraction. Because 20 years ago, if you spoke about a lot of these things, people would be like, "Whoa, he's a bit cuckoo." But more and more now, people are having these conversations all over the planet, and understanding. And to me, quantum physics has met spirituality. They've come
Yeah,
together, and they're saying the same things. Like, for instance, Jesus said, "Pray like it's already been given unto you." Now, isn't that the same in the law of attraction? What they
yep,
prove that you feel that you have that vibration. So you got a vibration, and thoughts are creating an emotion. An emotion creates a vibration, a frequency. And so when you have a certain frequency, and love is the highest, and we cause fear is the lowest, and hatred and jealousy and anger and judgment, it comes up to neutrality and peace, tranquility, love. And when you're living from them higher vibrations, and we get to choose them ourselves, James, don't we?
we can. I think there's something that happens to us. We get programmed, our subconscious gets programmed by all the stuff we take in from our surrounding, and it clouds our vision from the true opened conscious experience that we can have. And then in that opened conscious place, I really feel like we have choice to be the energy and be the vibration that we want to choose.
Yeah. Do you have any practices, James, that you could share with us to do that? Like, for instance, every day I get up, I do a Wim Hof breathing technique, and I basically I try and meditate every day. And there's an old saying, I forget who coined it, but God speaks to everyone, but not everyone listens. Not everyone is quiet enough in this busy world that we live in to literally just be. I mean, you might notice too. You'll drive past a bus shelter, and a lot of people, are on their cell phones. They can't just be. Whenever they got a moment to be still, rather than just, as you talked about, the country and nature, or if you're by the ocean or by a lake, but we can do it wherever we are. We can, be at a bus stop, just reflect, look around, instead of keep on going for more information. And a lot of it, as you say, is programming. So every day I try and do a meditation. But anyway, how do you practice this to be in this state of presence, James?
I always practice meditation. And I say practice because I think it is something that we can learn to live in when we do enough practice. But other than that, I like to spend time in nature and put my feet on the ground and connect with the earth. And practicing breath work has been really important with me. I've done a lot of different research on the great speakers and their different techniques. And I've developed my own, where I just take 3 deep breaths, and I take them slow and really deep. And at the top of my breath, I feel the expansion of my lungs, and I feel my body and release that. I feel like 3 breaths can help change my vibration, especially when I find myself getting too worked up or stressed out or too busy. Take a pause, take 3 deep breaths, and then I can get back to my life from a more centered place. And I feel like the practice of meditation is to live in that state where we're in the moment, present, with our attention focused on the task at hand.
James, can we do it now?
We sure can. I also believe that we have an aura, energy field around us. So I use my hands even, and I'll take a deep breath all the way in and reach up, and I blow out and clear my energy field, clear this surrounding energy body that I exist in. And again, breathing in light and love, capturing the essence of my highest self, and bring that into my field and spread that into my field, flushing out all of the nonsense that I can get so clouded with. And after 3 deep breaths, I feel the clearness and the openness in my field, and let go of all those attachments to the thoughts and fears and things that don't serve me, don't help me, and distract me from being in the present moment where I belong.
That's beautiful, James. And it truly is, because everything is energy, right? We know that we're energy, and these things are being proven now.
Yep. Yep, that was a big moment for me in my studies in the hospital, was finding out about the Large Hadron Collider. And I was reading scripture at the time and the law of attraction stuff, and I was trying to relate it to the Bible and how the words of Jesus were here to give us the message and the true spirit of this infinite potential universe that we're in. And then the Large Hadron Collider won the Nobel Prize for discovering an infinitely powerful field of energy that connects all things, that gives mass to all of the particles that make up you and me and the trees. I thought, this seems like a place that we can agree. There's one infinitely powerful field of energy that we all live in that's for us to use to create the life that we want.
Magical, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we live in a very special time where all these threads are connecting and putting the power inside of us. And that's why I believe consciousness is such an important thing to just look at and to use. And consciousness is a big, crazy word, and they call it the hard problem, like they don't even understand it. But really, it's just our attention. Where we place the focus of our attention has power in it.
Living from the observer. Eh?
Yes. And the beautiful thing about consciousness and attention, it's so powerful, but the only time that it's ever powerful is in the present moment. Consciousness doesn't really exist in the future or past. It's only right now. And it's an amazing power. So I like to practice living now to be using and living in my potential.
Yeah. The only moment there is, James, right, is the moment. I mean, it's humanity that's made up time, a clock and numbers and that. But there is no tomorrow, right? I heard something a couple of weeks ago. There's this bar, I forget where it was. And on the bar, it says free drinks tomorrow. And then you go in tomorrow because there is no tomorrow. And another one, as I heard, if you're in the jungle and an elephant could speak and you said to the elephant, what time is it? And he'd go, it's now, of course. It can only be the now, right? And a lot of the time we live in our heads and going over about what he said or what she said or why did they do that to me. So you're stressed. And also, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? Or what about when this war starts? Or again, news media. A lot of it is news media. And that takes you out the now. The only moment there is, the only moment is consciousness, as you said, is in the now. And the interesting thing is, too, we know we create our own reality. And the only moment you can do it in is in the now, where most people are not in the now.
Absolutely. I think the great machine power is pulling us out with whether it's watching something on your screen that's not now, worrying about something that's going to happen tomorrow is not now, thinking about something that happened in our past is not now, and all this stuff is seems so important, divides our attention. And when I practice meditation, I like to bring all of my attention back to me. So when I'm in the present moment, I have all of my power for me to live now and be the best person I can be.
That's amazing, James. That's amazing. What other tips could you give people that you do on a regular basis to keep your joy? Because every time I see you putting your videos out, you've got so much joy and a love of life. You got a love of life, and that you went through something that was, in a lot of people's eyes, quite tragic. And a lot of people could not imagine going through what you went through and how it left you. And yet you're always full of joy. That's such an inspiration to me.
Thank you. I think it's really important. And I think in this crazy life, I've heard some wild stories. People have been through some pretty horrific and fantastic and things all of the like. But in any moment, knowing that we have the power and being able to direct the focus of our attention is such an important power. And being able to use it for ourselves, to choose love and health for ourselves, for our friends, our families, and our community, I think is so important. And that's why, again, I always try to spend time in nature, and I get out completely surrounded in nature, and I realize that it exists 100% present, all of it. And it all seems alive and conscious to me, the way that the petals open a flower to face the sun, and all of it is living fully in the present moment. So I like to immerse myself whenever I can, surrounded in nature.
Beautiful. You know what, James? It's I've noticed in my life, most of the people I've met, because I had a big shift in consciousness many years ago after a lot of loss in my life, and I've spoke about it a lot on TikTok and on my YouTube channel. And since that moment, I mean, I started to do meetup groups over the years, and most of the people I've met who have had a big shift in consciousness, not all of them, but most of them, it was through great loss in their life, whether it's been physical or they've lost someone that they loved or they've lost all their belongings. It seems to be that great pain is a great awakener to cause this shift in consciousness. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that a lot in my in my rehab life. People that have a something majorly impactful happen to them, and it shifts the way they are. But I don't think that you need that. I think that sometimes it's the rude awakening that some people attract in their lives. But I've seen many people do it in all different stages of their life, decide to choose themselves and to choose love and to break free from this old consumeristic machine that's been programming us with fear since the beginning of time, or since they strung up Jesus, or whenever time began.
I agree, James, and I think that I've personally noticed, especially over the last couple of years, many more people, because I've been talking about this for like a long time. 2000, around the year 2000, and just after that, I done my first CD after a lot of loss in my life after I had a shift. And it was very few and far between where I'd meet people that would understand me when I spoke about being the observer and what is consciousness, and we are the divine essence and we do create our reality. But of late, over the last couple of years, I'm meeting many more people starting to become aware of this. And I think that the COVID era, no matter what we believe how it happened, but that has caused a lot of pain for a lot of people, and a lot more people are waking up to so many more things in the life, what's going on. but more importantly, who they are at their essence, which gives them that power, because we are superhuman beings. We have so many latent capabilities that are ready to burst out. And more people are waking up to that, aren't they?
Absolutely. I see that happening all the time, and I love being a part of the awakening culture. That's why I've been addicted to TikTok. I've been going on the lives and seeing people having these open discussions about their beliefs, about religion, about their own truths, that I think is so empowering. And I've really enjoyed myself being able to see it as a place for creation rather than consumerism. And I've really enjoyed TikTok for that, to have conversations with people and to talk about this awakening that's occurring. And I applaud COVID for what it's done to humanity. And like you said, maybe it has been a kick or a shift for everyone to start to look at things differently. And I feel like COVID has helped the awakening gain strength.
Yeah. James, how can people connect with you? What's your title on TikTok?
I am creative consciousness on TikTok, but I haven't been spending time on any of the social medias. I've been really taking this time this winter to separate from all of the consumeristic things that still get me caught up. I could go on TikTok with the idea to go find a conversation to be a part of and end up scrolling through useless videos, wasting my time. So I've been really taking a break from all of it and spending time on my workouts and at home, in meditation, in nature, and on my arts.
You still working out, James, then?
Yeah, all the time. I'm steady working out. I can take a few steps, but I'm not walking without a walker yet.
That's
I'm not,
fabulous.
I'm not sure if I ever will. One of my legs really doesn't. I can't feel or function or move my feet. So I'm not sure what that looks like for me in the future. But I've gained a lot of abilities functioning my bowel and bladder and being able to sit up on my own and lift this arm straight up in the air. I mean, it was years I wasn't able to do that. So
Wow.
it's been slow, steady progress, and I just keep working at it and making small gains and feeling the power that we have to make small changes in our lives all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, James. So creative consciousness, because people could catch all the other videos that you've done, though, right? Which are very inspiring.
Yeah, I was married with 3 stepchildren, and that's when I started TikTok to make videos with them and talk, have a place to talk and learn. But since my divorce, I haven't been producing content. I've been really on an inward journey.
Well, that's beautiful, James. And I know what you're saying, and I think that the collective consciousness can suck you back in sometimes. And I think when you do go out there and you're doing things, it is easy to be sucked into the mass consciousness rather than being going within more. Go within or go without. It's one of my songs actually on the CD. It is all about going within, and that's where that power resides, right?
Yes, me too. And I think, like meditation, it's a practice to connect with our highest self, to connect with the most potential that we can exert and exist in. And because it's a practice, I think we just get better and better at it.
I agree. I agree. And everything becomes a habit. So, what are your habits? Are they good habits? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Are you drinking good water, as you were saying before? Are you doing your breathing techniques? And do you understand the power that you have? Because I've even noticed, even in sometimes in the spiritual world or new age world, it's still a concept for a lot of people. It's a concept. When you know you have the power, that's when you really truly can make a difference in your own life and in other people's lives, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. And because, like you said, it's a collective consciousness. The more we practice it and shine that light of our own truth, the more we affect each other. And together, consciousness is rising.
Yeah.
But
I
it's only
agree,
making
James.
the dark. We're shining so much light now. I think our truth and our light is just shining on the darkness that's here. And some of it's kind of ugly to see, but it's helping us all wake up to it. And then we can realize that as a united consciousness together, we are the power. And it doesn't really hold any strength against us.
Yeah, I totally agree, James. And it's been so nice to finally connect and put your message out there in the world, because it's a message that everyone needs to hear, that the power they hold for joy and happiness, no matter what happens in your life, the outside circumstances. It's what would you like to finish with? Any final words, James, to leave with the listeners today?
I think we've really covered all the important points, but again, my important truth is just loving and appreciating yourself. We are amazing creatures. And if we start love there and take care of ourselves, love and appreciate ourselves with water and a calm, slow, deep breath, we become the best person we can be to help everybody else in this crazy game.
I agree, James. Thanks, brother. We'll have to do this again.
Hey, thank you so much, Carl. I really appreciate you and your work here on this planet.
You're more than welcome. I'll see you soon.
Much love, Carl.
And I'll put any links, if you need any links putting up, I'll put them underneath this video. I'll send it out on YouTube.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks, James.
Perfect.
Take care, brother. And so, my friends, I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like, subscribe, and you be the change you want to see in the world. Take care.